Welcome to today's video, another sickening video of this Prius. So today we're going to be doing an oil change. Not sure when the last time the previous owner changed this oil is. Toyota says to change this oil every 10K, but if you've ever worked on cars, 10K is pretty insane. So I plan on doing this oil change every 5K or so. It's pretty cheap and it's pretty easy to do yourself, so I'm going to go over what you need and everything you need to do in order to be able to do this by yourself. This Prius takes 0W20 oil. So if you look over here by the supercharger, right there on the oil cap, it tells you which oil you need to use. And then the amount of oil that we use is 3.9 quarts, but we're just going to be putting 4 quarts in here because it's better to have a little bit more oil than not enough. And I mean, 0.1 quart is like a negligible difference, and it's just going to be way easier for us to put 4 quarts in there. Here is what I'll be using today. So we got an oil change box. This will be catching the oil because we don't use oil pans in Hawaii. Got a funnel. Here is the OEM Toyota gaskets, OEM Toyota oil filter. There's also a little new O-ring in there. There's a special oil filter wrench for the Prius filter. Got some torque wrenches, 14mm wrench, and a 3/8" drive ratchet with a 14mm socket. And I just got the notification that my oil was delivered to the mailbox, so I'm going to drive down to the mailbox right now and grab the oil. I already have the front of this car jacked up, and we have jack stands underneath the front, so we're not going to be taking this car. We're just going to be taking this POS Subaru with no headlights, and then I'll be back in a second. And here is our oil, Valvoline, full synthetic, 0W20, and then this is a 5-quart container, so we need to take extra caution to make sure we don't overfill the engine. So first thing we're going to do is, since we already have the car up, that would be the first thing, but loosen up this cap and then just kind of prop it on the side. This will allow that air passage for the oil to come out smoothly. We have our oil box set up, and on the back of the drain pan over here is the 14mm drain plug. So we're going to go ahead and loosen that, take it out, and empty all the oil into that box. Alright, we got some successful oil drain action going on. Here is our drain plug. So we're going to go ahead and take off this old gasket, throw it away, and then we're going to be using a new one when we go to put it back on. This gasket looks like it's perfectly symmetrical, so it won't matter which way we put it on. So just slap that jown on. So once all the oil is completed draining, we're going to set our torque wrench to 27 foot-pounds, and we're going to reinstall the drain plug. Then we're going to get ready to take off the oil filter and change it. Once you have the drain plug torqued down, we're going to grab our ratchet and our funky oil filter wrench, and we're going to go ahead and take off the oil filter. The oil filter is located back here behind the pan. There it is right there. So when you go to take that off, there's probably going to be more oil that's going to come out of the housing, so just be ready for that. Alright, so whoever invented this, screw you, because this thing was like super hard to get off. But anyhow, there's a little O-ring on there that we're going to be replacing, and then we're going to be replacing that paper filter, and then we're going to be putting it back together. We now have our new paper filter installed, new O-ring installed. It doesn't matter which way this paper filter goes, it's the same both ways. So we're going to set our torque wrench to 18 foot-pounds, and then we're going to put this back on. Alright, so we torqued the oil filter, we torqued the drain plug, we cleaned up all the oil drops, so everything on the bottom should be good to go. So now we're going to grab our funnel and our oil, and we're going to add 4 quarts to this thing. Well, here is hoping we did a good job. The line is just a little bit above the 1 quart, so I'm going to call it good there. So you can check underneath the car at this point for any preliminary leaks, and go ahead and put your oil cap on all the way. And then our next step is going to be to start this up and see how it looks. I'll have to hop up in here. Oh. Oops, I forgot the case. Alright, let's try this again. So we are on, and then we're going to put this down in power mode. Ooh, and any second here the engine should kick on. Ooh, there it goes. We lit. So now we're just gonna monitor and make sure nothing's going wrong, I guess. What I like to do is I like to reset the trip odometer. So I'm just gonna zero those out, so then I know consciously how much mileage it was since my last oil change. I think somewhere in here there's like a maintenance minder, but honestly, if you rely on your vehicle to tell you when you need to do maintenance, then you probably need to reevaluate your life. So with all that said and done, I think this oil change was a success. We're gonna check the dipstick just cuz, but we're gonna have to get the car down from the jack stands and make sure it's on flat ground before we do that. And we just got done checking the dipstick, so it is good to go. Just in case you guys don't know, the way you check the dipstick is when you pull it out for the first time, you wipe it clean and then you put it back in, pull it out, and then that's how you get your reading. The reason you don't want to get the first initial reading is sometimes when the engine first starts up, or if you're driving or anything like that, it'll splash some oil up onto the dipstick, so you're not going to be able to get a accurate reading. So that's how you're supposed to do it properly, and then make sure that you're on flat grounds, and that's about it. So this is a wrap, and if you don't do any of these steps properly, then you are subject to having your engine blow up as usual.